Hey guys, it's Adrian here, and it's been an amazing past month. Getting to go to Botswana, traveling to Dubai, it's been the Christmas season, it's been a lot, but it's been busy. And I've been taking some time just to chill out and go through all the footage, work on the Botswana videos, all of that stuff, trying to attend to everyone's comments and be as active and, as possible on social media for you guys. And yeah, this was something that I filmed before we left for Botswana, and this is essentially kind of how I pack my Jimny, and I'm sure you guys have been wanting to know, what do I take along with me, how do I fit it all in, all of that stuff. So this is going to be quite a nice way of kind of breaking it down and showing you how the structure works. Obviously it's not the total setup, because there's stuff that always gets squeezed in last minute and you always forget stuff. So I'll try and show you the difference when it's ideally packed versus when it's packed on a trip and the chaos that ensues thereafter. But I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'm sure you've noticed I have new glasses. My other pair broke on Christmas Day. So yes, I have a new face going forward, so I hope you like them. I do. But yeah, enjoy the video. Okay, so I hate you guys for this, but so many of you have asked how I pack my Jimny and what all goes in my Jimny. So I'm going to take everything out and I'm going to repack it, and I'm going to show you all the things that I have inside here that essentially go on my trips with me. So this is back-breaking work, literally, for some of the things. So you guys better enjoy this. Okay, so here it is. The whole car is empty and I'm sweating like a pig. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the morning I leave for a trip, and you can see it's night time right now that I'm filming. So let's not waste more time. Let's pack. So just so you know where we're packing everything, as you can see here is the drawer system, and the secret weapon lies underneath here, where I've removed the seats, so you can see on both sides. So I think what we'll do is we'll pack from there first. So this is our collection of things. We've got backpacks, we've got lighting equipment, we've got more bags, chairs, solar panel, that's for the cooking utensils and food and stuff. We've got a fridge, we've got the tent, kind of little poles, little first aid kit. We've got the dual battery system from National Luna. We've got a safety vest. We've got a little water bottle holder, air compressor, a little inverter, ratchet straps for the fridge, and then we've got my cell phone with a little RAM mount, the little SUV doorstep thing, and a little tire gauge. And then with the solar panel we've got obviously the cables and some things. Oh, and you can't forget the iROAM cap. Got to plug the merch, looking good over there. And I'm going to show you, this is heavy, and I'm going to show you what's inside. Cracky, to quote the Australians. Okay, so what's in here, you may ask? As you can see here, it's a lot of stuff. It's recovery equipment, it's fuel equipment, there's fuses and ratchet straps and seed net, all the things that I don't necessarily need access to. So I don't want to have that kind of stuff in the way all the time. So what's nice with having this little spot under the drawer is that it's a nice hidey hole, so I can just leave that zipped up, dump it in here, level this thing out, and just tuck it in, just so nothing gets in the way. And yeah, that should be pretty good. And oh, there we go, one more thing, there we go. Perfect. And what's nice with these North Face bags is they're tough and they can really be put through some serious abuse. They're waterproof, a whole bunch of things. So I'm confident having my stuff there. I can slide this in and out, bash it around, manhandle it a little bit, and I know everything's going to be okay. So next to go in here is going to be really difficult for me to carry because 115 amp hour AGM battery is no joke. I think it's about 32 kilograms. So forgive me while I struggle. Yeah. That is ridiculous. Okay, this is obviously not the final battery system that I'm going to be running in the car. We are going to be testing this one out. To me, I think 115 amp hour is overkill. Now I've got to figure out a way to get this in here. Lock the straw. Okay, so that's the spot. The way it's in here is that there's grooves on the side and it literally fits perfectly in where the bolts are for the straw. So that's just kind of holding there. We temporarily got a piece of carpet just covering that. As you can see there, I've got the fridge cable here, just so I'm elevating it here so it doesn't get caught in the slides. And then this has its own little home. Spot down here is essentially where I'm going to put all the little chargers and things. So I'm going to turn that into a little power shelf, so that's going to be quite cool. Okay, so next up, another big heavy thing, the fridge. Funny enough, not as heavy as the battery box. And a funny thing about the National Lunar fridges, which caught me by surprise considering they're made of like stainless steel and everything, is that they actually weigh a very similar amount to the plastic versions by other companies. So, interesting. Then this will get ratchet strapped down, so it's nice and secure. And then here is our power, which I like to run down here. And that will essentially just go in like so. You can see this is the main power from the alternator, and that's just going to go in here. This is one of those things where things just fit like a glove. And then just to secure it, I've got a little bungee, which I then just take all the way around here, and there we go. Then it's just a matter of running this little cable, the fridge. So now what's really nice about this little space is that it's all power and refrigeration. So it's our solar panel, it's our fridge, and our battery box DC to DC system. On here I'm going to be putting little chargers and all that stuff for all my camera equipment, so I think that's going to really be a nice little segment of the car. What we're looking at is the ever important chairs. Now obviously I've decided to use these little tie down points on the side here just with the Strachit, because you can really secure stuff nicely with this. So then that's just a matter of going here and clipping that, popping the chairs in their little home, and then, because these chairs are amazing but they're really heavy, so they can knock around and make noise and all sorts of things if you don't tie them down really, really well. Hook that on there. Okay, so the chairs have their home, and with them being here, they won't get in the way of the drawer. So we want to utilize as much of our space and have as little hassle as possible when needing to access stuff. So let's load up this drawer, because I don't necessarily have the stuff to go in this one ready just yet. So that's going to be pretty much all my clothes and stuff like that, laptop, stuff like that, that I don't want I don't need access all the time, and I don't want people to easily be able to see it. So let's load up these drawers. 2 of these. What's interesting with these, let me pull this out, is that they sort of fit in here. With a little bit of pressure, you can squeeze the edges in, because they're soft bags instead of like the hard plastic ones, which you'd have to literally cut to make fit. You can put that there. Awesome. So let's have a look in here. So from my how to camp in a Jimny video, not much has changed in here. Raincoat, tinned food, salt and pepper, some cutlery, more cutlery, and a little pot. So very, very simple stuff, you know, but stuff that you need to access quite a lot. So depending on the contents of these 2 boxes, I'll put the one with the most convenient access at, well, obviously at the front, stuff that I need all the time. So here, this for example, got a little heat protector, more pots and pans. I haven't loaded it up completely yet, but once I hit the grocery store, these things will fill up quite nicely. But you get the picture. So essentially, boom. So we've got our locks on the drawer now. And now it still gives me a bit of space here to be able to put stuff if I need to. I mean, it would fit an air compressor, but then you've got your air compressor that you only need to use 2-3 times on a trip, in the way of everything. So I'd rather leave this shelf open and see maybe something else comes along that I need to use this space. Okay, so this space underneath here, little inverter, I'll just leave it there. You know, I can plug it straight into the power box from here. And then I'm also going to put my camera battery chargers and things here, just so it's easily accessible and, you know, when and if I need them. And that'll just plug straight into the battery box, charge while I'm driving. It's going to work really nicely. Then I've got a little National Lunar light, which I can also plug straight into the battery box. And this, see these little clips, this will actually clip onto the poles in the rooftop tent. So I can put this in the rooftop tent and light it up really nicely. So that's also a handy little thing. So I put it down here because it's something that I might need to just grab and go. So that's pretty much everything in the back here. Obviously we've got our little drop down table here just for quick, you know, quick little stop. When I don't want to have to pull out the big table and do all of that stuff, I can just drop this down, boil some water if I want to, make a small meal. Just gives me options. Again, you want options. I think it's very important because different situations call for different things. So I think let's move into the front of the vehicle. Space around the seats, what I do behind the seats, and what am I doing on my dash. This is one of my newest little collection of doodads. Not the cell phone, what's holding the cell phone. I'll link to these in the description. Just some RAM mounts. And what's nice with these RAM mounts, and that's why I'll link the exact one, is that the ball actually bolts straight into these little threaded holes. So you know these little rubber things inside the Jimny, there's 2 on the handlebars and then there's 1 over here. So I have a little RAM mount here, which if I want to swap the phone or the GoPro, I can put it there. I have a RAM mount here, which the GoPro lives on, so I can film myself while I'm driving. And then here I've actually put the phone for kind of easy access, you know, because sometimes the Apple CarPlay gets a little bit buggy and then it won't let me change songs or do basic things. So it's also quite difficult if you want to phone somebody. I find it's actually more dangerous to use the Apple CarPlay sometimes because you have to scroll through everything. Whereas here I could just call, you know, go to my little shortcut list and just call immediately. So this has been really nice, a good change to the everyday use of the vehicle. And then I've just run a little cable around the steering wheel where, so there's a little lightning cable, plug it in there, and then we all connect it up. So that'll just live there. The GoPro lives here, that's also connected up by a cable. So I don't have to worry about charging them, I don't have to worry about their power, I can just go use them. As long as I'm driving around, they should all be good. So the passenger side for this trip is going to be a little bit different because I don't have a passenger. But underneath here, 1 kilogram fire extinguisher that I can reach from the driver's seat, which is fantastic. And then, let me get something quick. And then this is also where I keep my air compressor. I just put it down here. It's out of the way. It's not a space that I need to access often, so I'll just kind of put it in there, compress it with a chair, and it stays out of my way. So for this trip, we need to have safety vests for when we are changing tires or anything, or the cops look for any excuse to bribe you, so it's just best to take one. That I just strap around the seat here. It's actually pretty cool. This one's a cool looking one, so it'll do the job if, you know, I'm in an emergency and we need it. And then again, it's just right over there. I can just, from the driver's seat, grab it, get out. Everybody knows when it comes to Jimnys, they are not the greatest when it comes to storing cups and bottles and things like that. So I've got this little Blueridge Overland little water bottle holder. Okay, it's not a little water bottle holder. I could hold the 1 kilogram fire extinguisher in here if I wanted to. So essentially I'll just have it set up here. It's out of the way of all my things. And I can just put a huge water bottle in there, make sure I stay hydrated in the heat. The last thing when it comes to packing the front of the car is the little first aid kit. Also Blueridge Overlanding gear, sits on the back of the headrest. Again, it's out of the way, but it's right there when you need it. So that's the kind of philosophy I have with a couple things. You know, you never know when you're going to need stuff, so it's good to have it, but you also don't want maybe taking up too much of your space for things that you actually do need. So I think it's always good to have, you know, a little backup. Okay, and then last but not least is the little SUV doorstep. It's super handy. Sometimes, you know, I need to reach something on the roof and the rock sliders just don't give me enough height. Just clip it on here. I'll show you. I'm sure most of you have seen this thing. It's been around the internet. Just kind of clips on there. Gives you a place to kind of step on. So that's quite cool. You know what? Again, it's one of those things. It takes up very little space. It also has a glass breaker on the front. I pop it in the pouch. It doesn't rattle around. And this is where it lives, in here. This useless space that Suzuki gave us as a side door compartment holds that, and then I actually, if I pull this back, the flexible plastic, I can pop my little tire pressure monitor in there. So that just allows me to be able to check my tires when and if I need. That kind of brings this whole little show to an end. It's a lot. There's a lot of stuff, but you can see that it's not overkill. It's not unnecessary stuff. It's things that would very easily fit into a utility vehicle or a truck or something. But obviously, because we're in Jimnys and stuff like that, it's a little bit more difficult to pack basic things. So, for this trip, it's just me traveling, so I'm gonna have plenty of space. I haven't even spoken about what's happening up there because that's a different topic. Just for now, just to show you guys how I pack my Jimny, what it looks like. And I hate mess because I'm a messy person. So I need to build systems that prevent me from messing. I guarantee you the first day, the passenger seat is going to be covered in camera equipment and all sorts of things. And that's just how I am. Hopefully I can keep the back neat because it's going to be a 9-10 day trip. So it's really going to test the setup. So, but I'm really excited. I'm really excited to test it and to really see. All the other trips I've done have been 2-3 days, nothing at this level. So not only is it a 9-day trip, but it's also in the middle of nowhere. So otherwise, I'd love to know what you think of how I pack my Jimny in the comments down below. I'm sure you guys will have a million different things to say and a million different opinions on it. So I will try and read through as much of it as possible. But if you are on the notification squad and you have clicked on the bell, I can essentially prioritize those comments. So that's what I'm going to start doing from now on in my videos. So please join the notification squad, and I'll be able to tend to your messages much sooner because there's a lot of people asking what size tires I have. So that takes up 90% of my time, and there's things that I'd really like to chat about with you guys. So please get involved. If you can't get a hold of me on YouTube, again, use Instagram. Love to hear from you guys there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next adventure, which you do not want to miss, so you better subscribe. So that wraps up showing you how I pack my Jimny and all that stuff. Now, this is not obviously my final walkthrough video. That's still going to be coming through once the build is kind of done. There's a couple things I'm still working on, and the things that I'm working on are going to kind of change how I pack my Jimny quite a lot, especially with the addition of the gull wings and the storage boxes on the side. That's going to make a big difference to the usability of the vehicle for just like run and gun stuff, for 4x4ing, for overlanding, for everything. So I'm very, very excited to kind of get moving on with that. Hopefully that's going to start happening in January, February, around there. That should be done, and I can do the full walk around video. I want to do a video on how much it costs to kind of put a whole build like this together. So that kind of wraps up how I pack my Jimny. As you can see, there's still a lot of space that gets filled up throughout trips and things like that, and you know, it's a lot. I didn't have a passenger with me, so I mean, we could say add in an additional clothing bag for a passenger, but there was stuff that I took with that I never ended up using, you know, in terms of photography equipment and stuff like that, which took up quite a bit of space. So I would kind of level that out 1-to-1. And the thing with clothing bags and things is, generally what will happen is, it'll be in the space while you're driving, but when you get to camp, you pull it out, you put it on your front seat. That's generally how clothing bags work, so it doesn't really affect your usable space at the back too much. But it's important, especially if you're using drawers and things, just to make sure that everything's kind of neat, so that you're not, the second something moves in front of that drawer and you're having to go in there and reorganize stuff, you are going to lose your mind. It's very frustrating. And I think something that, like, when you're packing for a weekend trip versus when you're packing for a week trip versus when you're packing for a month trip are all very different things, because the irritation level on things is different. You can get something that bugs you every now and then. It's fine on a weekend trip. Maybe it annoys you once or twice on your whole trip. When you're doing a week-long trip and it's bugging you every single day and it's in the way every single day, it gets very frustrating. When you're on a month-long trip, you will throw that thing out. You do not need it, because it is just going to be annoying. So I think it's also one of those things, as I start doing longer trips and start experimenting more with the build and things like that, I think I'm going to foresee myself trimming some stuff down, adding some things in, because maybe it's worth the annoyance in the actual day-to-day life. Or it's not worth the annoyance, it doesn't get used enough, and you know what? It's better to go without it. But anyways, these are the things that develop as you do your build, as you gain experience and you go on trips. So yeah, hopefully you found this video insightful and a little bit helpful, and maybe it can give you some ideas on how to pack your own vehicles, whether it's a small car or a Jimny or whatever. Let me know down below. I'd love to know if you have any additional ideas or things like that, or any like tips and tricks that you use in your vehicle to make stuff fit. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful new year, and I will see you in 2020. Bye for now.